Will you stand forever, or will you go away? And if you go, where will you go? As part of an assignment I had as a general authority, I needed to read through a great deal of material antagonistic to the church: the prophet Joseph Smith, the Book of Mormon, and the restoration of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. There may not be anything out there that I haven't read. Since that assignment changed, I have not returned to wallow in that mire again. Reading that material always left me with a feeling of gloom. And one day that sense of darkness inspired me to write a partial response to all such antagonistic claims. I would like to share with you some of what I recorded that day, and although I wrote it for my own benefit, I hope it may help you as well. I wanted to give a different talk today. I wrote other talks, more entertaining, with more stories, more engaging than this one. But every time I wrote a new one, I came back and I was directed back to this one. So what was the gloom I felt several years ago while reading antagonistic material? Some would say that gloom is the product of belief bias, which is the propensity to pick and choose only those things that accord with our assumptions and belief. The thought that everything one has believed and taught may be wrong, particularly with nothing better to take its place, is a gloomy and disturbing thought indeed. But the gloom I experienced as I listened to the dark choir of voices raised against the prophet Joseph Smith and the restoration of the Church of Jesus Christ, that gloom that came as I waded chest deep through the swamp of the secondary questions is different. That gloom is not belief bias, and it is not the fear of being in error. It is the absence of the Spirit of God. That's what it is. It is the condition of man when left unto himself. It is the gloom of darkness and the stupor of thought. The Lord said, "And that which doth not edify is not of God, and is darkness. That which is of God is light. And he that receiveth light and continueth in God receiveth more light, and that light groweth brighter and brighter until the perfect day." Revelation from the Spirit of God supersedes belief bias because it is not premised only on evidence. I have spent a lifetime seeking to hear and follow the word of the Lord. And the spirit associated with the dark voices that assailed the prophet Joseph Smith, the Book of Mormon, and the restoration are not the spirit of light and truth. They are not the Spirit of God. I don't know much, but I do know the voice of the Lord. And his voice is not in that dark choir. Not at all in that choir. In stark contrast to the gloom and sickening stupor of thought that pervades the swamp of doubt is the spirit of light, intelligence, peace, and truth that attends the events and the glorious doctrine of the restoration, especially the scriptures revealed to the world through the prophet Joseph Smith. Just read them. And ask yourself and ask God if these are the words of deceit, delusion, or truth.